mascots out there. Two mascots today. One is John Dempsey, who's 8-year-old and goes to St Bede's School. He enjoys swimming, football and of course rugby league. His favourite player is Phil Cantillon, and also Charlie McParland, who is also 8 years old, and he goes to Falmouth School. He plays rugby for West Bank Bears under 8, and Chris Percival and James Breers are his favourite players. And there they are with the match officials, who I think is Nick Oddy is down in the programme. That looks a bit like him, so Nick Oddy must be the referee with the teams today. James Breers, Liam Jones and Lee Birdseye at half-back. Lee Hansen. And the Hull KR team, full-back Christian Everett, John Ray, Rob Nolan, Weta Tewu, Gavin Malloy, half-backs Leroy Joe and Mark Hewitt, and the pack Paul Fletcher, Mike Dixon, Richard Wilson, Jim Latham, Dean Andrews and Chris Charles. On the bench, Scott Yeaman, Craig Handy, Ian Kirk and Alan Dunham. And so it's Hull KR to kick off. Ex-Widnes favourite Hewitt left the Vikings. There was, I suppose, a weakness at the time, or he was criticised for the weakness in his in-play kicking game. Couldn't fault his conversion kicking. His field kicks were good. Also criticised for not being able to distribute the ball well. We'll soon see whether a change of coach will make the Vikings eat the words on that one. I'm sure Hewitt will be out here to prove a point. Was that a knock on? I think it was. Well, inside their own 40-metre line, and Knox got the ball back to Cantillon. It was a bit low and he nearly picked it up off the floor. There's no recriminations there, I don't think, because Cantillon knows that half an inch could have been a perfect pass and continued the Widnes attack, but it does give Hull KR the first attacking opportunity. Then inside the Widnes half, a good break by Leroy Joe. Hull KR, don't forget, in 8th position, 1 point behind the Vikings. It's a great tackle from Percival. He chases from the half-back as well, and he makes the tackle. The ball, though, passed out by Paul Fletcher. Steve Argent in the tackle. Looking very lean at the moment, Steve Argent. Hewitt to Joe. Joe runs with the ball. Dean Andrews on the tackle. It's the final one for Hull KR. Hewitt, I think, will kick to the corner. Well, it was a decoy signal from Hewitt and the ball lost. It popped out of Eddie Kilgannon's hand. I think Kilgannon saying it was kicked out, but 6 more tackles to Hull KR. Widnes were caught short on the blind side, fooled by Hewitt's signal for the kick. Some desperate defence to do now for the Vikings. Leroy Joe, not the best of passes to Chris Charles. Might expect better than that from a standoff. Maybe not from off the floor, perhaps. Hewitt. Good tackle, and the ball tied up as Jim Leatham looked to pass. Well, Simon Knox claiming he was being pulled down. I don't know how Mr. Oddy could exactly see what was going on in the tackle from 12 metres away. Seems a bit harsh. You'd have to be something of an optimist to lie on just short of the 20-metre line in your own half and expect to get away with it. So Hewitt with the kick. Well, he used to get mischievously booed for missing when he was here at Widnes because it was such an unusual occurrence. But I'm sure that he'll get booed if he kicks this one by the Vikings fans. Takes his time. Can't see him missing it myself. And it's over. No mistakes. Nothing's changed there then. And Hull KR take a 2-0 lead. So the Vikings fall behind to an early penalty. Steve G complaining about the high elbow as that tackle was made. Argent in the tackle. Mr. Oddy taking the Vikings back the 10 metres. Well, I can't believe that Steve Argent would lie on there. You get the suspicion maybe that Hull KR, a bit of gamesmanship going on, and Mr. Oddy is being fooled. Certainly don't think that Widnes have not got the message. They know if they lie on they're going to be penalised. Mr. Oddy maybe now needs to look at the other side of the coin, but it gives Hull KR another chance to attack. And the ball moved wide, juggled with for the second by Dean Andrews. Short side attack comes to nothing. Gavin Malloy just takes the drive in. No options really. Leroy Joe, Hewitt, that's a good kick over the top, and it's a foot race. Now, I think how long does he get there? Well, no. Well, I'm not sure as to that. The only decision that could possibly be was a knock on over the line. Yep, that's what Mr. Oddy signals. Well, I'd like to see that one again. It looked for all the world as if John Ray had got there first. Touch judge says he didn't ground it. Hodgkinson. Well, Murphy hit big and hard. Well, Hull KR players in the centre of the field moving up a yard offside. Mr. Oddy not aware of that. Argent. Final tackle. He's going to have his hands full this afternoon. Is Nick Oddy. It's not a bad effort at the kick, but it's fielded well in the end by Gavin Malloy. Good chase by the Vikings, 3-man tackle. It's a big hit by Simon Knox on the fullback, Christian Everett. Tackle eventually made there. But Widnes going back, disciplined, 10 metres. I think even without Mr. Oddy being there, they'd go back to 10 metres. Richard Wilson almost broke through then. Hewitt. And I think it looks like Hewitt's instructions in the position at Hull KR are simply to catch and pass the ball and do the kicking. And another simple feed by Hewitt. James Bryers takes the tackle. Kilgannon half back. He's going to look for some space himself. Well, the fans now, I think, becoming upset. If you look at the two lines, the Widnes line is a perfect straight line back with Mr. Oddy. The Hull KR line, that player there who's making that tackle was yards offside. Maybe Mr. Oddy can't see that, but there is a fourth official with a microphone in Mr. Doddy's ear, and surely part of his job, if we're having them, that's what the job is, to point out these things and make him look for it next time. It's not a bad kick, although the final bounce takes it infield instead of out. But again, the Widnes chase is good, and Everett put down straight. Good chase by Kilgannon. Well, Widnes are going to start playing the same game as Hull KR at this rate. It's not something that referees have been strong on, I don't think, this season. It's how to play the offside. Largely it's been ignored at times, and then suddenly, out of the blue, you get penalised for it. And everyone gets frustrated because nobody knows what's going on. Anyway, it's the final one for Widnes. Hewitt steps inside Liam Jones and does it well. Now, Long, he normally makes a few metres, but he's tackled well this time. And a good chase it was by Richard Wilson, the number 10. Afiluila. Well, Nick Oddy's not even looking along the line there. He stood next to the winger, or the wing position anyway. Didn't even bother to look along the line. I suppose he's that busy looking at what's going on in the play of the ball, but he needs to have a look a bit more closely at what's going on in the defensive line. Final one for the Vikings. Birdseye kicks for the corner again, and I think Christian Everett's going to have a busy day today. Good chase by Birdseye. He makes the tackle alongside Liam Jones, the two young halfbacks together. Good hit again by Simon Knox. And credit. Well, the fans shout for the forward pass. Not given. Murphy just drags down Chris Charles by the shorts there. There's a Hull KR player injured behind the plate, getting some attention. James Blaze, there's a bit of space on this side if he can get there, but he opts to take the tackle. Carl Long, well, he fumbled that ball but just seems to catch it, I think, before it hit the floor. Well, it's getting frustrating now because the Widnes, any chance of a Widnes attacks are being snuffed out by the Hull KR line, moving up quickly. Well, finally he's got it, and the player next to him, it took to be offside before he noticed, and Cantillon makes a quick tap. Widnes looking for the quick play the ball now. Jones, Knox. Widnes have got Steegey out on the left. Dummies, drops off Arden on a decent angle of line and knocks off the first tackle. Got the fullback to beat. Lovely ball out. It's a chance for Jones. Oh, he couldn't get the pass out to Birdseye. Widnes fortunate to get away with some crossing there anyway when Cantillon went in front of him. Hodgkinson, not the best of passes, but Afiluila does well there. He took it high, he had no chance of avoiding the tackle. Hodgkinson goes himself. Well, I thought he might have even beat the man there on the line, but he kicks over. But the first attacking a chance for the Vikings comes off that lovely angled dash by Steve Argent. Lucky to get away without being penalised perhaps. Widnes now looking to keep Hull KR here. 13 minutes gone and bright sunshine, but a cloudy sky. One of the mysteries of the Widnes weather. Well, again Widnes penalised. Mr. Oddy wants a word with Tommy Hodgkinson. I think maybe Mr. Hodgkinson should explain to Mr. Oddy that sometimes defensive players do play for the penalty. Not a big favourite with the Widnes fans is Nick Oddy. Widnes have got Lee Hansen warming up. In fact, all the Widnes subs warming up at the moment. Michael, Carl Fitzpatrick and Damien Monroe. A terrible pass. Chris Charles cut inside. The pass went outside him. Jones dummies. Oh well, well covered in the end by Leroy Joe. But he's got the pace there. If he gets half a yard ahead, I don't think any standoff will catch Liam Jones. Well, you see Tommy Hodgkinson being mauled there as he attempts to play that ball. And look at Stay Argent there. He makes another 5 or 6 metres with 3 men on his back. That's the power of this number 10. G caught by the boot. Birdseye, dummies, goes himself, almost gets through, gets a good ball out. I think that came off a Hull KR player, but it's still the final tackle. Hodgkinson, again a high ball to Affila Wheeler, and Affy has to kick through. And Christian Everett, taking no chances, boots the ball straight at the touch judge. I think on this side it's Ian Fairweather. Well, the Vikings have got a couple of moves, in fact a couple of new moves worked out from the scrum. Will it go inside to Eddie Kilgannon? Yes it does. Maybe a bit too close for the line for that one to work, but a chance for Percival. He spins away from the tackle and he gets there. His arm reaches out over the line. A great solo effort by Chris Percival. It was one-on-one, but the spin took Percival away from the tackle. He was still short of the line, but he just stretched out his arm and planted the ball firmly down. And the Vikings take the lead after a good spell of attack. "17 minutes gone, 4-2 to the Vikings. Not too sure about Vindaloo. Win the league would have been a better option for the Vikings, but you can't win the league this season. You're going to come 7th or 8th. Batley away next week, the final league game of the season. Then we get to the money end of things. Widnes, certainly an outside shot. Might have a tenner on them myself, you never know. Stranger things have happened. Look at Workington getting in Super League, for example. However, back to the game. Affila Wheeler complaining that he was slowed down at the play of the ball. Hodgkinson refusing to go down. Argent, again, he picks out a good gap. Tackled well in the end, and a clever way of slowing down the play of the ball by Paul Fletcher. Well, all these boots and legs accidentally left in there by the Hull KR players. Again, a good chase by the Vikings. John Ray just gets his neck stretched a little bit by Steve G, who then makes the follow-up tackle also on the opposite winger. 3 good tackles by Widnes. Working hard in defence. That's a great tackle by Knox and Argent together. 40-20 attempted. Well, it bounces miles away. Carl Long, he goes down the outside and steps in. A good effort again by Long. He's got a good eye for an opening. Bryers looking for a quick play of the ball. Offside, well, get the flags out. Finally, Mr. Roddy gives a penalty for the Vikings again, with a chance to attack. Oh, knock on by Cantillon. Simon Knox. Percival going on to the short side. Switch. Argent, he nearly lost that ball. Just hung on to it in the end, but it just took away his momentum from the attack. Cantillon. Steve G is always dangerous. Just out in the centre position. 30 metres out. Long ball, Liam Jones. He's going across the field. He's running out his support players. Well, the ball was pinched. Was it one-on-one tackle? It must have been. Widnes suddenly on the defensive. Bryers chases back with Afiluila. Cantillon runs back well to block off the pass without actually impeding the play. Paul Fletcher goes off and Craig Hardy comes on for Hull KR. Well, an unorthodox tackle on John Ray, but it came off. Widnes suddenly find themselves on the back foot after losing possession. Long ball out. Great defence. Good communication between Kilgannon and Afiluila. And there's Hardy's first touch of the ball. Final tackle. Hewitt, now what will he do? Throws the ball wide, forward pass surely. And offside, well, technically offside, but the handover given. Simon Knox trying to pinch a few metres. Well, again, the line moves up very quickly. Suppose it depends when the free kick given for the impediment at the play of the ball. Liam Jones will take the penalty kick. Kicks it to the 40-metre line. Steve Argent shapes up for the first drive. He's got Eddie Kilgannon on his shoulder. Good run by Simon Knox. He came in at the angle, burst through the first attempted tackle by Jim Leatham. Well, is it play on? Back to one. Widnes need to get possession again, and Cantillon does. Slightly lucky there. Lee Birdseye a bit over anxious. I think he's realised his mistake. He doesn't need telling there. Just calming things down a bit. The player that overshot him anyway. Hodgkinson still on the first tackle, don't forget, by the Vikings, so there's no need to panic yet. Simon Knox again steps away from the tackler. Argent, second man out here, could be used as a bulldozer. Well, he's almost through. Can he get there? Be a tremendous effort by Argent. Does he get the ball down on his back before he lost it? Well, a great effort by Steve Argent. Carried the players another 10 metres once he'd been tackled. Sheer determination to get there. He's turned a few of those pounds into muscle as well, I can tell you. Close up, looking very slim at the moment, Steve Argent, in a bulky sort of way. What I'm trying to say is he's not as fast as he used to be. It's a good job I know him. So, always being a determined player, Steve. Worked very hard to get into the first team. He's a big favourite with the fans. I'm sucking up to him now, you can see. Physio's job done. Chance for the Vikings to attack. Liam Jones Will he go himself? Well, not now, he won't. Leroy Joe flies at him. Kilgannon hasn't had too many opportunities to show his class, Eddie Kilgannon, but he's always worked hard for the Vikings. Steve G's come to the left. Argent under the posts, not this time. Flat pass to Steve G, but he knocks off the first tackle. He's still fighting to get there, and while the fans on the far side give it, Mr. Oddy doesn't give it. Knock on awarded. So close twice to Widnes then. Just 14 minutes left in this first half, and I suppose when you're playing two teams one above the other in the league, you'd expect a tight game. Just 2 points in it. Fans shout forward, but anyone can see it was the number 4 Wetu Tewu, and he's a centre. David Humes on his feet down on the Widnes bench, urging his players to axe them, but no axes out there. The ball offloaded in the tackle. Well, seem to be caught in two minds then for the minute, Hull KR. It's a good job that I think that's Birdseye under there who's coming back. Or does it cancel on? It's Birdseye. Leroy Joe with the kick. The ball bounces tantalisingly away from James Briers. He picks it up though. Carl Long. Again, Kilgannon gets there to do the donkey work. And that's one thing that the fans like about him. He's always there working hard. Cantillon with a nice step. Almost gets away. Just couldn't shake off the attentions of Dean Andrews. Hodgkinson. Well, Cantillon slipped there, but Hodgkinson gets a good ball out to Murphy. Murphy steps back inside after Louila's trying to keep up with him. It was a forward pass. Birdseye missed it anyway. Well, just one pass too many for the Vikings. Worked hard to get down in the position, but then lost possession. Jones makes a good tackle on Everett. There's the substitute, Hardy. Vikings defence is again good this afternoon so far. With 12 minutes left. And again a three-man tackle, and I think Dean Andrews felt the full weight of it. All those players then. Final one, the ball to Hewitt. Kicks for touch. Briers picks it up well. It's a good chase by Hull KR. Briers does well to knock away the first tackle and make the 20-metre line. In fact, he's passed it. Good work by the Widnes full-back, and he got a smack in the face there off Hewitt. Carl Long, no options there, but look at that again. He makes space for himself. Always looking for the gap, trying to get up quickly. Well, if that's not holding down, I don't know what is. Well, that's an awful decision. Well, Carl Long being held down, fighting to get up. Still with players on top of him, tries to play the ball and ends up losing possession. And that's a great move from the scrum, and it's going to be a try. The captain, Wata Tewu, scores. A lovely work move, it has to be said. Finished well, it just caught all the Widnes players out of position. And all Tewu had to do was step inside Steve Argent. To be honest, I'd have to watch that one again on video to describe exactly what happened there. The standoff came across the centre and just popped the ball inside. Caught Widnes on the wrong foot. But I have to say, still think it was a harsh decision to give the scrum in the first place. Mr. Doddy now having a chat with Mark Hewitt. Hewitt with the kick, can't see him missing this, and Alan Dunham, I think, has come on for Dean Andrews as Hewitt sets himself up for the kick. Well, it takes the same time and effort as if it was off the touchline. Widnes fans shout, get on with it. How often have we heard the opposition shout that for Mark Hewitt? The result's the same, and Hull KR 4 points to 8 in the lead. 9 minutes before half time. It's a bad time to concede one for the Vikings. A bad way to concede one. They haven't conceded many from scrums this season. Deep kick by Birdseye. It bounces, but it sits up nicely. Good tackle by Liam Jones on the number 11, Jim Leatham. Well, the Vikings have only lost 2 home games this season. They could do with a win here. Hull KR, as ever, started strongly and have faded away in the last half of the season. But they're not playing like a team at the moment who are having any difficulties with form. Final one. Hewitt needs to be attacked, but everyone stands off him. Nowhere for James Byers to go when he nearly spins away. Has to go down in the end. Philly Wheeler. Well, Carl Long. Widnes make the 20-metre line finally after 3 tackles. That's good running by Simon Knox. But again, the Hull KR line nowhere near onside. Final one. Birdseye, well, if he was going to do that, he had to have a second option there to get rid of the ball. That's bad play. I didn't think Birdseye was offside, but Widnes should have never been in that position. He had to evade the first man, who in my opinion was offside when he charged at Lee Birdseye, but if he was going to then attempt to evade the second, he had to have a third option and flick the ball back in the tackle. You just can't take the tackle there. Mark Hewitt will take the 2 points for this. Just wondering if we might see Damien Monroe come on in the second half. I don't know if he is fully fit. I suppose if he's on the bench, he's got to be fully fit. Well, now here's a substitution that I don't understand. Mike Hill. It looks to me like Carl Fitzpatrick and Mike Hill are going to come on for Liam Jones and Chris Murphy. The kick is a good one. So Murphy and Jones coming off, Fitzpatrick and Hill coming on. Now will Fitzpatrick go to stand off? Looks like he will. It's Another good kick by Birdseye. And it sits up as well for Everett. Well, a good start by Widnes, good defence, but find themselves 6 points down as we come up to the half-time interval. Just 4 minutes to go. Mind you, I would put some of that down to harsh decisions. Widnes never seems to get referees that lean towards the home side. Well, although Cantillon was a yard offside there, so I'll take that back maybe. Gonna go out, it does. Well, there's 2 balls on the pitch now. Kilgannon. Well, that should be a penalty. Yes, the number 15, Hardy, had his hands up in the tackle, if you'll pardon the expression. Well, I don't know why Mr. Oddy has to talk to him. It slows down the quick tap by the Vikings. It's a decent kick by Birdseye. Steve G makes 10 metres. Well, again, the play of the ball slowed down. Crossing, well, bad communication maybe between Hill and Argent. Certainly bad execution. Winners just need to steady the ship, maybe until half-time. Get in and sort things out. Good work by Mike Hill, urging his line in, making the tackle himself. It's a good run by Hardy, he came from deep, took the ball on the gain line. Hardy playing for the penalty. Hewitt. Oh, what happened there? Well, he's claiming it was knocked out and given back to 1. Couldn't comment on that. Ball kept alive in the tackle. I think Simon Knox took a fist in the face there. Hardy. Well, okay, I've certainly got the tails up at the moment. Short side attack. The line stands its ground, but the pass out. The Widnes line needs to get up quickly. And Leroy Joe just does enough. Joe. Hewitt gets a good ball out. Step inside, it's going to be a try. Well, a bad slide by Widnes. Bad defence on the left side from the Vikings. The line just didn't move across. On the slide defence, every single man's got to work, and that clearly didn't happen. The man just cut back inside, and Widnes now with a lot to do in the second half. They're going to be 16-4 down at half time. It's not a good position to be in on your own patch. Well, the fans having to go at Mr. Oddy, I think, for giving the back to 1 decision a bit earlier. But Widnes' defence was all over the place then. So it's 14-4, this to make it 16-4. And OKR will go ahead of Widnes this afternoon if they win here. It'll be the Vikings' third home defeat, which is worse than last season. And Hewitt punishes his ex-club right on the verge of half-time. What a bad time to lose another one. 16 points to 4 for OKR. Widnes with a lot to do. David Hume with some hard talking to do at half-time and some motivation as well, I suspect. So the team's out. It's the Vikings to start the game. A lot to do in this second half. And you know, if Widnes get beat here today and Barrow win, and they'll also go above the Vikings, and we'll be 9th in the league. It'll all depend on next week then whether we even get in the top 8. Batley away for the Vikings. Got no idea who Barrow and Hull KR play next week, but we desperately need to win here. If we win today, we're definitely in the top 8 finish and in with a outside chance. Final tackle. Well, the Widnes players are shouting Hewitt, but not many of them are actually attacking him. Luckily, he still can't find the 40-20 off the kicks. Carl Long has to settle for the tackle. James Byers attempts the handoff. He makes a couple of metres. But Cantillon trying to organise something in the middle of the park. Afila, well, wasn't classy, but he made a few more metres. Simon Knox, straight hit. Well, flicks one out the back door. Well, I thought Cantillon came up with that, but somehow he lost possession. He's going to have to consult the touch judge to see what happened there. Mr. Roddy had gone back into the Hull KR line. I don't know what happened. I think they're saying that Cantillon just lost the ball. Well, a scrum. I don't know how that decision comes about, but the Vikings on the defensive again. Don't really know why Simon Knox flicked one out the back door. Leroy Joe. Well, James Byers is in the line. Widnes without a fullback at the moment. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. Still without a fullback. James Byers now makes his way back. Hewitt. Nice inside pass, or was it? Didn't give much option there to Rob Nolan. Final one. It's a high ball. Who's going to take it? Well, there wasn't too much communication there. James Byers is hurt. Byers had to come a long way for that, but Eddie Kilgannon was safely underneath it. Saw the similar thing a couple of weeks ago where two Widnes players collided with each other. Cantillon not managing to make his usual impact on this game at the moment, but he there catches Hull KR offside. Widnes certainly need to score first in this half. Move shouted. Simon Knox, and it's good to see that Widnes are always having the man in support of the player whose job it is to drive in the ball. Mike Hill, next one in on the far side, but the ball comes short side. Fitzpatrick. Carl Long wants to go. I think he might just take this himself. Fancies his chances from there. Not this time. Argent, well, he didn't really come from deep enough there. The Widnes attack is very flat at the moment. Cantillon tries to dance over. Forwards coming from flat. Just not making ground in the attack there. Widnes have got Lee Hansen warming up. He's tended to make an impact on the games this season when he has come on. OKR making good ground there. This line needs to move up a bit more quickly. 10 metres made there before they even hit the tackling player. Final one. And again, Hewitt needs to be attacked. Kick goes the other way this time. Sits up for James Briers. Kilgannon. Cantillon. Carl Long. The Vikings' attack's gone a little bit flat in the opening stages of this half. Simon Knox trying to do something about that, but Hull KR are defending well. Hodgkinson, good step. Nobody in support though. Final one. Kick through. Well, it bounces up. No problems there for the full-back. Okay, are working in twos, getting the ball a bit wider. Damien Monroe's come on, and I would presume, yes, James Briers has gone off. Took a knock a little bit earlier. James Briers. Monroe trying to organise his defence. There was an enormous gap immediately behind the play of the ball. Markers there. Kick. Well, it should be taken by Carl Long. Picks it up. Well, there's no gaps there. Damien Monroe, first piece of action. Takes the ball himself. Well, again, the play the ball slowed down. Knox, good step. Again, well, you could see what Knox was trying to do there. It almost came off. It would have been a good pass if it come off, but it didn't. And again, Widnes turn over possession. Inside their own half. Find themselves under the cosh. Christian Everett. Leroy Joe. Hull KR keeping the ball alive. Widnes needs to get amongst them there. Leroy Joe just shows it and goes. It's gaps galore to the left. Final one. Percival misses the tackle. The ball flicked out. Still alive though. Well, Mr. Oddy deciding it was getting a bit too scrappy. I don't think there was a knock on there myself, but Monroe again makes good ground from the half-back position. Tommy Hodgkinson. Well, Hull KR basically have just slowed the Widnes play the balls down. And that's hampered Cantillon's game, although as I say that, Cantillon scampers away. Can he get past the fullback? Oh, it's going to be a brilliant solo slide by Phil Cantillon. Well, I'm glad I said that Cantillon's game had been hampered, because as usual, the players like to prove the commentators wrong. Unbelievable piece of play by Phil Cantillon. There was nothing there when he picked that ball up. He just made himself invisible, slipped through a gap, knocked off the attempted tackle. How many number 9s in the game could go down a full back like that and still beat the winger? Some hope yet for the Vikings. got to be the man of the season for Widnes, no matter what the final outcome of this year. Well, the kick missed. 8 points to 16. Well, the Widnes fans urging Mr. Oddy to stop the clock. He finally does. He should really do it every time Hewitt puts the ball on the floor, because it always takes him about 5 minutes to kick, which is fair enough as long as that isn't counting down the clock. Matthew Wheeler picks up the ball. Kilgannon again prepared to do some hard work. Damien Monroe run hard since he came on. Hodgkinson, dummies, almost gets through, no options now except to keep hold. Argent, good work by Argent. Well, he took a few cracks there off Jim Leatham. Final one. Now, will it stay in? No, it goes out. Tap on the 20. Okay, running the ball out well. It's 4 Widnes players in the tackle. 2 of them need to get back in the line. Look a bit short on that right hand side, and that's where the attack goes. Chance on the outside, and there it is. Kilgannon, great tackle, made up the ground well, Eddie Kilgannon, but that's where Widnes was short, and Hull did well to spot that. The ball moved back to the blind side. Final one. Now, will Hewitt run the ball here? Got a suspicion he might. Kicks over the top. Carl Long just shepherds the ball out of danger into touch. Okay, our players not in any anxious hurry to get to the scrum. Matthew Wheeler wants the ball. Argent comes across at a good angle there, but hits a big hit. Doesn't really make too much ground, but again the play the ball slowed down. And the Hull line moving up early and just snuffing out the Widnes attacks. Widnes just can't get the quick play the balls. Well, Simon Knox kicking out in the tackle, but I think he got punched beforehand, and that's why he was anxious to get up off the floor. Who wouldn't be? If you're laying on the floor and you get smacked, automatic reaction is to try and get up. "25 minutes left. Mike Hill. Just wondering if Lee Hansen might make an appearance soon. Argent, good work by Steve Argent. Good ball it was to him as well. Cantillon, thought he might go himself there. Hodgkinson spins. complicated ball, but it didn't come off, and Knox again loses possession. It's the third time Widnes have turned over the ball. And Lee Hansen sat on the bench, no sign of warming up. Wonder what David Hume's thinking about now. It's a great tackle by Knox. Good work by Cantillon. He needs to get up. Well, I don't know what Phil Cantillon was thinking of there, because he just held his hands up. I don't know why. I think he was trying to show that he was being held down, but Mr. Oddie's view is that Cantillon wasn't making an attempt to get off him. Widnes with 6 tackles to do. Can't afford to concede one. If they do, I'm convinced it will be all over. Leroy Joe. Okay, I look very composed at the moment. Well, okay, so I'm wrong again. Forcing one pass too many. Can't understand why, because they're certainly on top in the game at the moment, not just in terms of points. All I have to do is keep control of the football. Kilgannon. Good work by Damien Monroe again. Tommy Hodgkinson struggling to make his usual impact in this game. Argent again picks up a good angle for the inside ball off Cantillon. Cantillon goes himself, steps inside, almost gets away, but cover tackled by Ian Kirk, who's sneaked on. It's the final one. Can the Vikings get the ball out? Mike Hill. Oh, Hill's going. He's going to be caught in possession with it. It's a fine effort by Mike Hill. At least he turned over the ball inside the opposition 10-metre line. .21 minutes left. Widnes just need to make something happen here. But Hull KR have certainly come here knowing that they have got to win to have a chance of staying in the top 8. Hewitt set himself up for the kick, but then Hull KR cleverly moved the ball out wide. Attila Wheeler needs to stay out on the wing. The ball kept alive. Damien Monroe makes the tackle and the cover gets there. Monroe needs to be careful not to give a penalty away. It's the final one. Leroy Joe kicks through, that'll go into touch. But again, Hewitt, by fooling Widnes with his intended kick, sets off another attack. Well, Widnes without a recognised standoff, struggling to get the ball wide this afternoon, and also the fact that the Hull KR defence is moving up so quickly isn't helping. Argent's working hard, but at the end of the day you can't beat teams like Hull KR just by hard work and running through them. Widnes need a spark from somewhere, spark of inventiveness. Cantillon, well, he gets through again, he needs support. Cantillon does it again, but you can't leave it all to this man. Fitzpatrick, dummies. Widnes get the feed. Well, I think they're slightly lucky there, because I thought the ball from Fitzpatrick initially went forward, although it did roll backwards. Touch of luck for the Vikings. Lovely ball, and Monroe's going to score. Oh, the move from the scrum works a treat. The Vikings haven't used that in the last 5 or 6 games, if not longer. It's one of the simplest moves when you know how it's done, but when you look at it like that, it doesn't half fool you. And Damien Monroe goes in under the sticks, worked to perfection, no opposition whatsoever. And even with his hernia dragging along the floor, Damien Monroe gets in under the posts. Surely Lee Birdseye must kick this. I'll shut my eyes when I say that. Just a 4-point deficit. I've just been reminded about Don Fox at Wembley, but he did have his boots on the wrong feet. Well, Birdseye adds the conversion. Widnes' first kick of the day. They have lost a couple of games this season when the kicking has let them down, notably Barrow away and also Oldham last week. Let's hope today isn't another one, but they're now just 2 points behind with 17 minutes left. Need to keep possession for the spell here. Well, Mike Hill caught it on his shoulder. Runs hard though, as usual. Made an impact on this game, Damien Monroe. Still surprised that Lee Hansen's not being brought on. Widnes have only used one forward sub. Good run by Knox. Well, they'll play the ball again, slowed down. Argent. Final one. Good kick by Birdseye. Did well in the end to step away. Just left-footed it into touch. Lee Hansen stretching down there. While the ball is kicked off the pitch there by Chris Charles. And again, Hull KR, bit of gamesmanship to count down the clock. Well, a terrible pass. They were looking to attack straight from the scrum on their own line. Well, not on their own line, on their own 20-metre line, but it was a ill-timed ploy. That's a great tackle by Mike Hill. Well, they've clawed the way back into this game now, Widnes, but they just need to keep this effort going and keep the concentration. The Vikings fans get behind the team, but it would only take one lapse and one mistake to undo all the hard work. Final tackle. Kick comes in. Well, it's charged down and it's back to one, and I think they need to change that charge down rule. It makes it totally pointless charging down. There's no advantage to be gained, and you just give the ball back to the opposition. You might as well just stand off him and let him kick it. Six more tackles resulting from a bad kick. by Leroy Joe. Joe in possession, the Widnes line standing off on that far side. Hewitt. Crucial tackle by Kilgannon. Knock on. Great tackle by Eddie Kilgannon. It was good work by him. A lot of the Widnes line was stood static there. Well, here he is. Lee Hansen finally comes on. It had to happen for the last 13 minutes. Steve Ident's run himself into the ground. Can Lee Hansen make an impact against what will hopefully be a tired Hull KR pack? Well, the Hull KR back line again moves up quickly. Munro gets the ball out, a risky pass, but Percival, well, Widnes taking chances, not for any great reward just yet. Hodgkinson takes a big hit there. Tommy Hodgkinson off Richard Wilson. Hansen. Cantillon. Not this time. Cantillon goes himself. Needed support. Birdseye puts a good kick in, finds touch inside the 10-metre zone. 12 minutes left, counting down the clock. Hull KR going to take off Richard Wilson and put on Paul Fletcher again. And again, well, the scrum takes its time to form. This time it's Widnes that are last ones in. The Vikings need to watch themselves here. I thought Leroy Jones was standing wide to get the ball out to him, but they've decided to be cautious this time. Use the forwards. Good work by the man that's just come on off the bench. Good tackle by Kilgannon and Nafi Luila. There he is again, Paul Fletcher, doing his fair share of work. Good tackle by Steve G. Final one for Widnes to defend. Hewitt kicks deep, but Munro takes it on the full. Space on the outside if he can get past Leroy Joe, but he can't. And Hansen finds himself at half back. Scoops the ball up well. I feel a wheelie almost got away, just couldn't. Well, when it's just a bit too slow on the catching and passing there. I think Fitzpatrick's injured. Birdseye, nowhere to go. Just a bit short for ideas at the minute. And Cantillon kicks. Well, it's not a bad kick by Phil Cantillon as it turns out. Ten minutes left, Widnes 2 points behind. Having missed 2 conversion kicks. Hewitt feeds. Well, the wingers are coming in inside now to do some work. Gavin Malloy there in the standoff position. Not sure if Leroy Joe might be injured. He's been hanging out on that left wing for a while. Maybe they're just sharing the workout. That's a good run by loose forward Chris Charles. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. That looked like a forward pass. I'm keeping my fingers crossed there that Widnes just get a touch of luck. Good luck, that is, for the change. Well, this time Steve G's learnt his lesson. He doesn't charge the ball down. Sits up for Damien Munro. Goes sideways looking for the gap but can't find one. A good six-man chase by Hull KR. Hansen. Again, the Widnes forwards running a bit shallow, not breaking the tackles. Penalty against Simon Knox for not playing the ball properly. Well, I wonder if Hewitt will go for 2 points. No, he's not going to. It's a bad penalty to give away for the Vikings. It's the last thing they need. Fletcher done a lot of hard work since coming on, so he should do. Is he held? He is now. Mike Dixon taking advantage of the fact that Widnes only had one marker. Leroy Joe, line didn't move up on this side for the Vikings, and Joe brought the ball back and nearly capitalised on that. Kick over, is he offside? Well, not only is he offside, he's off the pitch. Nearly had to jump over the fence to catch that one. Well, it's a scrum, it mustn't have been the last tackle. Time running out for the Vikings. And the crowd becoming as frustrated as the players. Carl Long, well, they're not getting the ball out to Carl Long. I just wondered why they don't bring Carl Long a bit more into the middle of the game, because he has got the ability to beat men, especially tired forwards in the middle. Knox comes to the short side. He was looking inside for support. G was there, but he didn't see him. Final one. Tip over the top. The bounce is perfect though for the full-back, and he beats two men. Well, he set off on a bit of a mazy run there, Christian Everett. 6 minutes left. Widnes 2 points behind. Well, Hull KR have come to life again, and Widnes again on the back foot. Hewitt. Play on, says Mr. Roddy. Tackle not made. Leroy Joe slips the ball inside. There's support there. Final one. But Widnes look a bit worn out. They're certainly not looking sharp at the moment. Miss kick by Hewitt is a good job too, because he was nearly in there, Mark Hewitt. There's a lot of tired legs out there. Kilgannon trying to get away. Cantillon trying to get away. Beats one. Needs support. Last one. Widnes just not making any ground. I'll have to say that Hull KR are still not getting back on side. John Vay took well, he fell awkwardly, I think, as he took that ball there. Looks like he's going to have to go off. Four minutes left, and the Vikings just lacking a spark in the attack at the moment. John Vay's got a nasty cut on top of his head there. That'll be a blood bin for Hull KR. Damien Monroe takes that well as it bounced straight into his midriff. Well, there's nobody behind the ball, and the Widnes players just walking back. Carl Long gets there. Widnes fans still shouting for the offside. Mr. Roddy not having any of it. Knox. Birdseye. Tip over the top, but that straight down the throat of Everett. Well, it's going to be a third home defeat for the Vikings by the looks of things. I mean, they certainly don't look capable of breaking this Hull KR down. Defence down again. And if Barrow win, it could be curtains to the Vikings' playoff chances, as vague as they may be. Final one for Hull KR. What will Hewitt do? Steps away, he's going to have a go himself. Dixon, well, he throws the ball back. Does it go in touch? No, it doesn't. A great tackle though, and it's a turnover there. Eddie Kilgannon's injured. Hurt his back with the looks of things. Final chance for Widnes, perhaps. 2 minutes left. Widnes need to get the ball out well. Widnes just needed to get the ball through the hands there and let the centres and wingers have a go, which hasn't happened in this game. You've got to have some faith in your backs and get the ball out to them. Simon Knox, the wrong man in the wrong place at the wrong time, loses possession. If I know Mark Hewitt, I wouldn't be surprised to see him drop a goal in a minute, just to waste a bit more time, and that'll be all over. Christian Everett had a good half, and Hewitt now has set himself up under the sticks, just behind the play of the ball. Well, not this time. Maybe now it's the last tackle, but instead Widnes caught napping. It's a good effort by Mike Dixon, but Widnes was slack there. It's the final tackle. Well, Widnes urging Mr. Oddie to stop the clock, but no, Widnes players seem keen to get the ball picked up. It's no use moaning at the referee. They're all stood there looking at the ball. Only a miracle can save the Vikings now. We're into stoppage time. The ball flicked out by Hansen. Cantillon, miles offside. Mr. Oddie just hasn't played the offside rule this afternoon, and it's snuffed out Widnes. Well, Carl Fitzpatrick can't possibly know that we're into stoppage time, but I wouldn't say that that was the best option. Tommy Hodgkinson, man of the match for Widnes. But the game is all but over. Mr. Oddy hasn't stopped the clock very much today. And unless a Hull KR passes the ball to a Widnes player under the sticks, it's all over. It is all over. Hull KR, the third side to beat Widnes at the AutoQuest this season. The Vikings, disappointed, sink to the knees, some of the players, because they know that Hull KR will definitely go above them. Barrow could also go above them, and in the penultimate game of the season, for the first time, Widnes could go out of the top 8. And if Widnes lose and Barrow win next week, that could spell even more disaster for the Vikings, because they may not even make the playoffs. However, no matter what happens, we'll be at Batley for the final game of the season next week with Michael on video. But for now, the final score here is Widnes 14, Hull KR 16.